While we're only 2.5 months into the year, we've already seen some really big losers. The big losers include Drake, importers of Canadian products, and surprisingly, Kermit the Frog. Despite being a frog and a puppet, one of his impersonators lost the Super Bowl, and the other one is having Tommy John surgery. Well, you know what they say, even though it isn't easy being green, it's easier than sounding like you swallowed a peen. Welcome to the Moonstem Cast. I am Jordan. This is the Times Square Elmo mascot to my "a picture's $25." Brian, how are you doing?
The amount of twists and turns in that intro. Well done, mate. Well done.
Thanks. For Garrett Cole, we speak your name. Now that you could grow a beard and make your face look normal again, you can't. So yeah, welcome to the Moonstem Cast, Brian. Brian, you've had quite the week. 2 weeks. You're a changed man on this podcast now.
Ding,
ding, ding.
Yeah,
ding.
now finally to let it to rest. I'm going on a honeymoon next week, but we got through it. We lived.
You're going on a honeymoon.
It was amazing.
One of the best weeks of the year to go on a honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
You can be
those 2 days are blocked out.
Yeah. You can be like, honey, listen, I love you, but let's rest these 2 days.
So she wants to go exploring one of the towns that we're staying at on. She said on Wednesday, and I said, "Hey, baby, would it be possible if you could explore it on Thursday instead?" And she went, "Yeah," and I was like, "Cool." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "That's tip off for March Madness, and there's going to be like 16 games that day." And she was like, "I'll leave you to it."
Yeah. Hey, don't you dare forget the first 4. All right, those play Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe. But yeah, this weekend is Champ Week. I'm in Fort Worth for the AAC tournament, which is always a fantastic time because they give out a lot of free talkies and tickets are like $2. So I am going to have a fantastic weekend watching a ton of basketball on television while also watching more basketball in front of me. But Brian, before we get to basketball, let us get to the baseball. And as we just talked about, Garrett Cole is having Tommy John surgery, out for the season. The Yankees,
curse of Yankees having beards or being allowed to have beards has started, is real hot. Giancarlo Stanton has 2 broken elbows, or they're just dead.
Yeah.
And now Tommy John surgery. Oh boy.
I mean, the thing with the Yankees is they are they are part of the unction. They have a lot of unks on their team, a lot of older guys. It is unsurprising that, the one guy below the age of 27, I think he's wants up to 26, left the team, and now everyone's just falling in place. Now, you could say it's like remember the Mayans were gonna end the world in 2021 or 2012, sorry. It's like that. Something's happened. I don't know who stopped it. Maybe, I don't know, someone stopped it. It was someone protected the world. Maybe the beards, the baby faces were protecting the Yankees from actually being able to, play baseball. But now it looks like, Garrett Cole's out. Giancarlo Stanton may just be out the entire season. Like you said, I don't think he ever gave a reason. Like, he never said his elbows, what the problem was, just that they are like gone. He doesn't have 2 working elbows. I say he's a guy with only 1 working elbow. So, congratulations to the Yankees on not making the World Series again. Can walk on wood so hard.
Yeah, this has an. Unfortunately, this does have the storybook. Oh, look at the hardships at the beginning of the season. They were down one of their big sluggers and their ace. But I don't know. I don't really think anyone's winning the World Series not named the Dodgers this year. I don't know how anyone does it. I really don't, unfortunately.
I mean, if anyone named the Dodgers does, or anyone other than the Dodgers wins the World Series, that is the worst investment of all time for the Dodgers. Just quickly transition from the Dodgers. Fortnite, American institution, Dodgers, American institution. You know who's going to be in Fortnite?
Shohei Ohtani.
I don't know why I said his name like that. But he's going to be in Fortnite. So you can play Goku versus Shohei Ohtani in Fortnite now, which is just the most fun thing in the world. He really is the biggest baseball player of this era. Maybe we can say of the century. In the world right now, 100%. Imagine if he was on the best team with the other best player in the world. I would never not bring that up. But yeah.
It's a miracle that we walked away unscathed with the Angels with having those 2. But
I mean, this is it's like, I don't know. They're about, they're like, I don't know. I was going to say the Sphinx, but not the Sphinx. They make the best decisions, which is Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. And then the worst decisions, which is Anthony Rendon and also the rest of the team.
Or Tale of Two Cities.
Taylor, it was the best of teams and also the
was
worst
the best of
teams.
players contracts and the worst of players contracts.
I mean, Anthony Rendon, you just, I mean,
It's just
that ma-
fucking the
that's
best.
that's my time stealing king. I do want to talk about hats real quickly. I don't know if you saw the hat controversy from New Era. They had the overlap hats, which is like, you have like Houston or Astros, and then the logo, or like Houston and the logo. There were some questionable ones, like Angels. The G was covered up, so it looked like annals. They were really, really close to another word. And then, Brian, do you know there was one taken off the market because it was technically a curse word? So Texas Rangers. It said Texas, all right, but the X was out and the T was there, the logo T, which is tetas, which is tits in Spanish. And so they had to take that one off the market.
Nice.
Nice. So, we're in an era of just horrible jerseys and
fucking ugly hat to think, like, not just the Rangers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that would be such an ugly design across the board. Why the fuck would you do that and think it would be a good idea?
I think lots of companies are trying to make something look cool. Like, they're trying to get into streetwear and stuff like that, but they just don't have the chops for it. And so you get things like this where it's like, why not just put the logo and then the name of the team? And it's just
we this year's hat controversies of stupidity, and last year was pants.
Yes.
Man, baseball needs to figure its wardrobe out, man.
To be fair, like, it's every sport. Like, hockey had the issue this past year. Like, when I bought my Maple Leafs jersey, I didn't buy the Fanatics one because apparently it was so bad it wasn't worth buying. I had to like go to eBay. So whatever. But that was just a funny little thing. One less funny thing. I have an issue with Jeopardy right now. I'm beefing with Jeopardy. So I was watching a TikTok, as I do. I'm obsessed. And there was Jeopardy questions about baseball. And this one guy was just killing it. And he started from 1,000 and went down to 200. The $1,000 question was Ozzie Smith. It was baseball plaques. So it was like what their plaques inscribed in the Hall of Fame. It was baseball plaques. Now, obviously, 200 is the easiest, 1,000 is the hardest. The 1,000th one was relatively easy because it said backflips. That's Ozzie Smith. I'm going to say Ozzie again. That would be fighting. But Ozzie Smith, okay, you go through other ones. There was like Nolan Ryan. Who else was there? There was other things. I think they were like, there was David Ortiz. The 400 question was David Ortiz. Like the first word was Big Papi. Get to the $200 one, okay? But I'm going to read you the $200 question. I want you to tell me who it is. Holder of more than a score of major and American League records, including that of played 2,130 consecutive games. Who is that? Okay.
I don't fucking know, man. I don't know baseball knowledge beyond 2000s.
Okay. My immediate answer was Cal Ripken Jr. Okay, because that's the one I know had played the most consecutive games. That's what the guy answered too. Immediately, Cal Ripken Jr. I looked in the comments. Everyone's like, Cal Ripken Jr. It was fucking Lou Gehrig. Now, the issue is Cal Ripken Jr. is known for this streak. And if it is a $200 question. If it was like maybe the $600, I'd give it to you. I'd be like, fair. Like, it's a little tricky. You have to kind of know the number.
If you hear baseball and streak.
Yeah. Like a 20, Cal Ripken's like 2650 or something. Like it's still an insane number, but I just know it's in the 2000s. I was thinking if it's a $200 question, obviously that's the easiest one. That was the hardest one on the list. So I'm just beefing with Jeopardy because it made me feel stupid. So I was like, when I got Ozzie Smith, I was like, dude, I'm so smart. And then I got that one, and like everyone answered Cal Ripken Jr., which technically his streak shouldn't have been there because of the lights controversy. But I don't know if we want to get into that. I don't know if you know about that. He had the streak. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I don't know if you want to talk about basketball quickly. I don't know. You know, you said NBA stuff.
I got a couple NBA notes. One is LeBron James beefing at Stephen A. Smith. Apparently that wasn't so much basketball rather than fathers saying basically, Will Smith meme, keep my son's name out your mouth. I'm shocked it's taken this long for Stephen A. Smith to get talked to a player like that. Like, honestly, it's a hell of a run. I think he's in his 60s, 70s, and it's taken him this long to get a player to get that irritated, and especially with LeBron, who's like media literacy is like through the roof. He knows how to play the game, but maybe he knows like, hey, I look like a good father if I'm doing this. So, yeah. So Also, Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless did a podcast together, and cool.
I mean,
the reunion.
The reunion of people who hate LeBron. Stephen A. Smith is 57. I will give this.
He's only 57. Oops.
I will give this to LeBron though. He wasn't mad that Stephen A. Smith was talking about his son. He was mad that Stephen A. Smith called him a bad father for letting his son play basketball like this, which is
that's
a little different than like if you just said Bronny's a bad player. We all give that one to you. That's like no one's going to fight you on that one, except if they're a Lakers fan. No one's fighting you on that one. If you say LeBron's a bad dad, that's when I think I'm going to be like, I'm kind of on LeBron's side there because like.
Kind of. I completely agree with him.
Say what you want to about LeBron. Say whatever you want to about his career. Say whoever is better than him. He's a fantastic dad. Like I'm going to give him that one. I mean, he seems like he's been involved in their life. Like he has a son. Lamar Ball did. LeVar Ball. There's so many Ball brothers, and LeVar Ball did. Except he didn't have to like go on a media campaign. You can say whether or not Bronny deserves it at the same time. Good dad. So I think I didn't look at Twitter the night it happened, and then I woke up and I was like, oh, Stephen A. Smith like Little Man by LeBron James. So I'm like you. I'm surprised it took so long, just because Stephen A. Smith is not known for
good takes.
And also chillness. He's not known for either of those. So I'm surprised it took this long to someone to be like, dude, shut your bitch ass up. I say someone who will at some point give another bad take for an episode, and get called out for it. So that's
the other NBA note I have is Joker did something that's never been done in NBA history. And that is he went 30, 20, and 20. 30 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists. Never been done in history of the NBA. And then he did an interview with Scott Van Pelt and was just like, I played basketball, tried real hard. We won in overtime. Ding. And I was just like, how can you be so good at something that you obviously care enough to be good at, but don't love enough to make it your whole life? It makes no sense. I
mean, that's just like work. Like the thing with
it's Jokic, literally work for him.
He just tweeted like you can love something all you want. Like let's say we get doing this professionally, you love it all you want. At some point, you're like, it is my job. He's the only one who's like, listen, I'm just so good at this. It's the Serbian like he's Serbian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's like the Serbian like way they do things over there. Like when it comes to basketball, I read I wrote a blog about this a long time ago. And there's an article I like referenced about like. Basically, they just train you to they train you to work. They train you to be good at everything at the job, and then you go to work. And now Jokic is like, I just want to go play with my horses. Which honestly, get some chickens and some horses and some land, brother. I'm with you.
If Stardew has taught me anything.
I'm gonna go get some rainbow gems. Fuck you, not Wawa. Never been to a Wawa. Fuck you,
Jojo Mart.
Jojo Mart. There we go. Fuck you, Jojo Mart. Never chosen you. I never will.
Never will.
I will say I saw a statistic that there have been 4 Mavericks players who have gone 34, 10, and 9. So 34 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. Najee Marshall in 2025 just happened. Jason Kidd in 95. Dirk Nowitzki in 2010. And Luka Doncic did it 41 times.
Yeah. I still do not understand that trade, man. But everything's been said on it that could ever be said on it. It just, man, what a fucking goof.
I will say the Dallas Stars shouting "fuck Nico Harris." That's the first time I've ever seen cross sport hatred. Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
So I mean, again, everything needs to be said has been said about it. It's just. The other day, there's a news stat. It's like, guys, what were y'all thinking? Moving on to less professional basketball, kind of professional basketball, NIL basketball, college basketball. It's champ week, baby. I'm so fucking jacked right now. I was up till midnight last night watching the West Coast Conference semifinals between Gonzaga and San Francisco. I was watching the Horizon League yesterday. I love this time of year so much. I think there are 9 bid stealers left, which is the coolest thing. I love bid stealers.
including Notre Dame.
Yeah, no, they're still alive,
We
baby.
just won. So about 3 hours ago, we just beat Pittsburgh. We were tied with 0.5 seconds left, and we were awarded a foul that was. If I'm a Pitt fan or if I'm a college basketball fan neutral that was watching that game, I'm like, that's a shit call.
Yeah.
As a Notre Dame fan, I'm like, let's not talk about it.
Listen,
it was two players going up for a rebound. I thought it was a nothing. I thought it would be like when I saw it, I was just like, okay, they're going to overtime, and then they were like, no, you're awarded. They even reviewed it and they awarded them to the 2 free throws, and I was just like,
like I'm gonna take this one. That's a win for me. I will go through the people who've already punched their tickets, who already got their bid. There's one that already won that I'm very excited about, and there's one, or actually there are two. There is one happening tonight that I need to happen. All right, it's Tuesday, by the way, for those of you who are listening. I wanted to be like the New York Times, the Daily there. It's Tuesday. And the ASUN, Lipscomb, made their ticket. And the Big South High Point, after all these years, after years of being the best in the conference and not making the tournament because they lost the conference championship, they're there, baby. High Point making it. I think I need to look at Joe Lenardi. I think they're going to be like a 14 or 15. I think they're going to win at least one game.
couple games.
I don't know if I mean, a 15 seed has actually made it pretty far in the past couple years. So maybe if they're a 15 seed, I think Wofford, and I'll get to that, it's going to be a 15 seed. High Point, maybe a 14, 15, maybe even a 13, somewhere in that range. I don't think they'll be a 12. Mississippi Valley, we have Drake, Death Taxes, and Drake making it to the March Madness. Ohio Valley, Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. They are going to be probably first forward because they're probably one of the lower seeds. But yeah, good for you guys. For the record,
who's the team tonight?
Okay, I'll get to that. I'm going to go through all of them. I'm still. I will say, if you're making the first forward, in my mind, you're in the March Madness. You're in the tournament. I know some people say, well, it's not the tournament because you don't really have to choose it. It's just still the tournament to me. Still made it. And the Southern Conference, Wofford made it, and they won. They're auto-bidded. Now, Brian, do you know where they finished in the conference?
7th.
They were 6th in the conference, and they go to the March Madness. They're going to the tournament.
They won it?
They won the tournament. These people who already won. Summit League, Omaha, Sunbelt, Troy. Tonight, Tuesday, and so this will be known by the time this comes out.
What time?
Actually, let me look this up. And the Coastal Athletic Conference, we have UNC Wilmington, 80% chance to win tonight. And facing them, Delaware. Now you're going to go, Jordan, why is Delaware important in this? Delaware, I believe, finished 13th in their 12th in their conference. They were 5-13 in their conference. They're now on track, if they win tonight, to make it to March Madness. That is so cool.
Do you think they win tonight?
You know, the smart thing would be to say no. But if there's one thing I know about college basketball in March, it's that, one, anything can happen, and two, it's like postseason baseball.
Tell me to pull the trigger, Jordan.
It's Brian. I say put some money on that, baby. It's all about momentum.
It's not done. It's at plus 355 odds.
Do it. It's also at 6 o'clock tonight. So 6 p.m. tonight. Okay. I don't know what channel. I'm guessing one of the PNs. The ESPNs. I don't know why I said like PNs. But if they win, that's gonna be so cool. And the thing is, if you're hot, you're just hot sometimes. And that's what it's like. It's like we said, playoff baseball. It's better to be hot than good. And they're hot. They're not good, but they're hot. And the Northeastern Conference.
And if they don't win, they have no shot of entering the tournament, right?
Lord.
Okay.
I mean, these things I'm about to mention, other than like the West Coast Conference is different, which I'm going to mention. It's Gonzaga versus St. Mary's. They're both making it. St. Mary's is, I don't know what they're both making it no matter what. Like in the NEC, you have St. Francis, Pennsylvania. They're not making it, and they're like 2 in their conference. And you have Central Connecticut State University. They're not making it. because there are 31 auto bids and then I think 37 open. The thing with that is like you probably got 9 from the SEC, you got 6 or 7 from the Big 12, about that from the Big 10. I don't really know what the ACC, honestly. They've been dog shit this year. I found a stat that was actually crazy to me, given that like we grew up in kind of the ACC dominance era.
Mm-hmm.
There were zero games between two top 25 teams in the ACC this season.
Duke didn't play anyone in conference play that was a top 25 player.
No.
Or top 25 team.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's been a bad year for the ACC.
When Duke's the best in the ACC, I assume. Duke
is the best by far. I mean, so right now, theoretically, there are 3 teams that are projected to win the like by all stats projected to win the title this year, which is Duke, Auburn, and UH. Just throw UH out of that. I say that as a fan. I just don't think it's the year. If they win this year, it's going to be really weird because their best year was probably last year or maybe 2 years ago. If Duke has a chance, I think Duke is a solid pick. I think Auburn, so in the second round, they might play Memphis, which I think will be a really tough battle for them. Because, Ken Pomeroy this week. I think I sent the article to you. I don't know who read it. It was very interesting to me. The SEC is not as good as people think it is. And because the quote unquote best conferences we've ever seen usually flounder in the tournament. If you look at the Big 12 last year, what happens is they go into conference play and they play really well in conference play, but they get in their habits. Like you see with A&M beating Auburn last week. Now, listen.
Well, you were saying that the big thing a couple years ago with Zach Edey was and Purdue was no one pressed them, and then when they got to the tournament, they started pressing them, and then they collapsed.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works. Like if Auburn's going to have to like face defense for the first time, the first round they're not going to face defense. They're better than whatever team is going to be put against them. But like the second round, they may place Memphis, and Memphis is a really hard team to play. They are a strong and rough team. As this someone who's watched them for the past many years, who watched them this weekend, who watched them in person. They're a very tough team. Like they're a physical team, and Penny Hardaway has them set up like that. Auburn really hasn't faced that big time, at least in conference play. I mean, I maybe would argue also an open play, but like it depends. But like the reason the A&M game is kind of a little bit of a fluke, just because they were drunk since Saturday. So it was like it was a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday. They've been drunk since Saturday. They had Alabama coming up. Which, by the way, I'm so upset I didn't get to see the end of that Nate game, but it was all worth it for you.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. I'm glad I got to come up to you afterwards and be like, the overhit.
Beautiful.
I
don't know how. I think when we last talked about it before the ceremony, we were like, this is fucking dead.
Well, because there were like 4 minutes left and it was like 75, 73 or something, and went into overtime. So that's what you needed to do. Yeah. So that worked out perfectly. Just one last thing, the Horizon League, also tonight, Youngstown versus Robert Morris. One of them was going to get a bid. So that's all for college basketball, really. Michigan State, actually, really quickly. There's this thing that happens, Michigan State, at the last home game every year. As the seniors walk off, they get subbed out, for whatever reason. They go kiss the Spartan in the middle. This year, Michigan stood on that Spartan, so that they just couldn't go kiss it like they usually do. People have been criticizing Michigan for this. I will say, as a hater, I respect the move. As someone who really, who was it? Was it Ohio State, Michigan maybe? Where it's like, listen, if you really hate that guy, go beat the shit out of him. It's the only natural thing to do.
Yeah, they planted their flag. Michigan planted their flag on Ohio's in football on their logo. Yeah. And then Ohio legislation tried to get it passed where that would be illegal, which is just piss. Now they ended up winning the national championship, so everyone gets to look past that. Mm-hmm. But that's just some piss baby shit if I've ever heard it.
Well, that's the thing. That's not what you do. You do what Ohio State did after the game. You go try to beat the shit out of them. It is, if they are your rival and you really do hate them, act like it. And that's why, I'm not going to go after Michigan for doing that. I know people have gone after them. I will say, if Michigan State would probably do the same thing. Now, some Michigan State players obviously took exception and said some, let's say, hurtful things to the Michigan players. But yeah, like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I can't believe they did that.
I hate that shit. I have one last college basketball note, and that is Big Cat PMT Barstool went 16-0, 15-0 in March with bets.
Oh,
and last night, for the first time, I decided to jump on board. And my friend Ian, and Dave Portnoy, first time jumping on all of us. That's 3 bad gamblers right there. Mm-hmm. I guess our powers combined, and we ended that streak real bad. Like, it was a miserable game to watch. Those teams fucking sucked. It was an over, and I think like 7 points were scored in like 9 minutes at one point, like by both teams total. It was, and we had a shot at overtime, and that was going to be the only thing. And it was brutal and horrible.
What do you know? What bets you took?
No, not off the top of my head. Okay. It was two shit teams.
Yeah, I mean it's there's no. I'm not gonna say there's no good teams playing right now, but like it's the beginning of champ week, so all the smaller conferences are playing, and the lowest seeded big conference teams are playing. Like, I think my mom texted me today. She's like, "Are you watching OSU versus Cincinnati right now?" I'm like, Mom, I'm at work.
It was Charleston and Wilmington. Wilmington, thank you. Yeah, it was those two. It was their over 147 and a half, and it was not good. It was a bad time.
There was, I think, maybe was I watching last night? I was watching someone last night. And it was like, this is, y'all can't score.
Bad.
It was not good.
It's bad.
So, anyway, but this is such a fun week. It's going to be such a, like, you'll have a couple bid stealers in there. You always do. It's going to be a fun time. Maybe Notre Dame. Who knows? Maybe they go on a special.
I don't know. We looked like shit against Pittsburgh. So, like, once again, I think there was about 12 minutes that went by and like 9 points were scored total in the game. And I was just like, oh my God, we're playing Pitt, who's not very good. We're going to get reamed out either tomorrow or the next day, whenever we play next.
Well, I wish you the best. I will be watching with great interest in your career. Over to soccer real quickly. I'm not going to talk about Liverpool. They did just lose. Actually, they're playing right now against PSG in extra time. Neymar, the prince who was, what was it? The prince who never came, or the prince who didn't live up, prince who never became king. As someone who watched Neymar,
the prince who never was, or something like that. The heir that never was from House of the Dragon. Yeah. The heir that never was.
Oh, okay. Like it was. I remember when Neymar left for Saudi Arabia. It was the prince who never became king, because he was supposed to become king. He's supposed to be the best player in the world, just never did. Little March tradition that happens every year around Carnival. He gets hurt, and you may go, Jordan, does he get hurt every year? Like, on the pitch? No. It's usually something like, oh, my ACL just feels weird, or like I feel some soreness. Every year, March 11th is a very important day because that's his sister's birthday. Every single year, he gets hurt around this time to go celebrate his sister's birthday. It is actually crazy at this point, because Santos, who is his childhood club, was in the Sao Paulo State Championship. I'll be honest, no clue what that means. And they were in the semifinals against their bitter rivals, Corinthians. I know Santos, and I know Corinthians and Brazilian soccer. They lost 2-1 because Neymar wasn't playing because he was feeling soreness. And he said he had felt it after Carnival. He felt a little soreness in there. I mean, Brian, I'm telling you, death, taxes, and around March 11th, Neymar gets hurt. So just balls back, wonderful tradition. I enjoy each year. The notification that, hey, Neymar's hurt, by the way. It does not matter if he's playing for Barcelona. It does not matter if he's playing in Saudi Arabia. It does not matter if he's playing for his childhood club against their biggest rivals. He will get hurt somehow to go to his sister's birthday. Honestly, shows the kind of parents he had. Good for raising you to love your sibling. That's not an insinuation, by the way. It's not like a creepy insinuation. Dude just fucking loves to party, which I respect. So go crazy, Neymar. Enjoy your time off, and maybe you'll be back soon. Over to hockey. Simon Benoit, which I imagine that's how I pronounce his name, got in a fight last night against the Utah Hockey Club, which, by the way, it should be something way cooler. He went for a Superman punch to start the fight off. Now,
hanging in the Louvre.
Hanging in the Louvre. Did he lose? Yes, he did lose. But that's not what matters. It's about the aesthetics of it all.
The cool picture. That's what matters.
Yeah, a cool picture. He also relocated his thumb inside the penalty box. I don't know if you've ever seen that rugby player who relocates his shoulder. It's similar, except no offense to hockey, but the rugby player was way cooler when he did that because he went and tackled the guy right afterwards. So that was in the second period. The Leafs were up 3-0 at that point. Brian, will you guess the final score of the game?
5-3 the other way.
It was 4-3. The Utah Hockey Club came back with 3 goals in the second period. And then overtime, Leafs won. With that said, they're on a really shit streak right now. Brian, I don't know if you remember, but on Saturday, other than your wedding and also Alabama-Auburn, it's another very important game that day. It was the Derby, the Moonstamp Derby, to which the Leafs fucking lost 7-4 to the Avalanche.
That makes sense for something I'll get to here in a minute.
Okay. So I don't want to talk about the Leafs. I just think they're shit right now because they are shit right now. So it's from what I understand, this is the experience they go through. It's like the Astros in like May or June, where it's gonna be like, oh my God, do you guys know how to play the sport professionally? With that said, they're 39-22-3, second in the Atlantic Division. They were first last time. And yeah, so it's not going well over in Toronto. I do see that they're going to boo the national anthem, the American national anthem, a couple days. That's about all. I mean, maybe that'll inspire the Maple Leafs to win a fucking game. I don't know, whatever it takes at this point. So just, I don't know, win a game, please.
Over on my side of things, we are no longer a wild card team. We are now third place in the Central Division at 39-24-2 with 80 points. Nathan McKinnon now has a 5-point lead, and he is at 102 points total on the season. And all hail Cale Makar, 75 points on the season. He is now in the top 10 for points in the season. Man, as a defender, that just feels unreal. Is this uncharted territory? Is this the status quo for Cale Makar? Because top 10 in points as a defender feels incredible. First year watching hockey, I don't know what the fuck if that makes any sense or if this is like a common thing that normally there's a defenseman up there. But I think there's two more in the top 25. One of them's like 19 and one of them's like 24 defenders as well. But top 10 seems a bit high for defenders. But yeah, we march on. We're not a wild card team currently anymore.
Maybe we'll meet in the finals. Who knows?
That'd be crazy for our first year.
That'd be really fun for the first year, honestly. Brian, football, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, Twitter went down and everything happened.
Yeah, free agency opened on Monday, and the tampering period, or was it Sunday? I think it might have been Sunday. The tampering period might have been Sunday, and then free agency opening on Monday. I don't know. I don't have exactly that. But the Texans have decided that we are going to revamp our entire offensive line. We shipped off Kenyon Green to the Eagles for C.J. Gardner. I believe we also gave them a 4th, and they gave us a 5th in next year's draft. Mm-hmm. I hate Kenyon Green. I'm glad he's gone. I hate our offensive linemen, except for Blake Fisher. So... yeah, I don't hate that. We beefed up our safety. We have a hell of a secondary now. CJ Gardner is a little bit of an insane person, though, from what I understand. So, but he's also understands what it takes to win.
I mean, he did win a Super Bowl recently. I mean, listen, sometimes you need a little bit of an insane on the team a little every once in a while. You need the Randy Moss on your team every once in a while just to make it through. So maybe, I don't know, maybe D'Amico Ryan is the guy to turn him around. Maybe CJ does something, but here's to hoping because Laramie Tunsil's also gone.
Yeah, we shipped them off to the Commanders. We shipped Laramie Tunsil and a 4th to the Commanders for a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th. Yeah. Laramie Tunsil, as much as problems I have with him, he was still a top 5 tackle in the league right now. I don't know if we got a good return for him. My only thought is that we're going to take these 3 picks and try and flip it for something higher in this year's draft because that's the only reason I see them shipping off our entire left side of our line is if they're going to make a splash in for the draft. And right now, I guess it's either going to be Titus Howard or Blake Fisher playing left tackle. Don't love that. I would actually take Titus Howard on left tackle right now over Blake Fisher just because of experience. But maybe we're going to make a splash in the first round and move up and take a highly touted first round talent at left tackle. But we'll see. We're gearing up for something.
I mean, the joke I've seen is like, what if we took CJ's bad offensive line and made it worse somehow? That's how he's really gonna win. But I imagine there's like something. I mean, maybe I have too much faith. I imagine there's something in the books. If you ship your entire left side off, Laremy Tunsil again. I think he got a bad rap in the beginning of the season, and then just kind of never faded away. Even though he got better as the season went on. So I think again, if you're gonna ship off your entire left side and not get any sort of lineman in return, you either need to go crazy in the draft or leverage that for something else, which maybe see us doing. I don't know. I don't know who they want to go get, but I'm okay with it for now. But TBD. Give me after the draft and maybe start a camp, and we'll see what happens.
I don't think we're going to go after a wide receiver, or at least not an early round wide receiver this draft, because we just signed Braxton Berrios, a little 5'9" white receiver.
Dang.
I guess that'll be our slot, our Tank Dell replacement for the time being. And then we also went out and got Christian Kirk from the Jaguars, which Christian Kirk had a hurt year last year, but he's been 1,000-yard receiver once. I don't love either of these moves, but we still have Nico Collins, where I guess they're really looking at John Mechie and hoping he progresses into the second round talent out of Alabama. Now, yes, he had cancer. Like let's the fact that he's out there at all is incredible. It's an incredible story. But John Mechie is our number 2 right now, or Christian Kirk is our number 2 right now. I don't know. So maybe we're going to take that second round draft pick and flip it for a receiver or something, or draft a receiver this year. But not loving our wide receiver room currently because of injury. We're not. It doesn't look like we're going to re-sign Diggs either. And Tank Dell's knee is non-existent.
One thing I'm actually very disappointed right now about Braxton Berrios. I was told that if they just needed one more fast, small receiver, it would all come together in Miami. So it seems like, Mike, what's going on? I was told one more. You were watching one of the fast ones. That's all you needed. I wanted you to. I believe it in you. I believe that it's like how I play FIFA. A ton of really small and fast players to make the team work, and then all of a sudden you're just like, hey, I can just outpace the computer. I am just hurt. I'm appalled. Alex Earl's boyfriend is on our team now. I don't know if you know who that is at all.
That's how I know Braxton Berrios.
That's actually how I know Braxton Berrios.
That's actually embarrassing because I was like, why do I know this name so well besides just small little receiver?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he was no offense to him. He was really not a nobody on the Dolphins, but he wasn't touted on the Dolphins.
I mean, his contract is 1 year, $2 million. Yeah. So I don't hate the move.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to let you do a choose your own adventure here.
Okay.
Do you want the fun quarterback or do you want the fun receiver news?
Give me the fun receiver news first, and we'll go into fun quarterback news.
DK Metcalf has been traded from the Seahawks.
I saw that.
Do you know where he is now?
Was it the Steelers?
It is the Steelers.
Okay.
Which means you have DK Metcalf's crazy ass and George Pickens' crazy ass on the same sideline, which means every first off, you're going to have 2 receivers that love getting thrown the ball. They want every target forever. Second off, you've got 2 receivers that are very emotional and get after it with cornerbacks. Steelers games are going to be so much fun, and I have to pay attention to them because of these 2 divas. The only thing that'll make it more fun, and part of my take put this idea in my head, so it's not an original idea, is if they sign Jameis Winston to be their quarterback. It is just going to be the most it'll be front and center. It'll be the most entertaining thing. I want them to have 17 primetime games if that happens, because I just want to watch it.
I actually had another. I thought if you put Aaron Rodgers in there with his crazy ass and those 2 in there.
Either one of them.
Who are just like, at least with Jameis, he's like, he probably actually can get through to those two and be like, it's snowing, and like have a great time. Whereas Aaron Rodgers would be like, did you see the little, I can't say that word. I was going to say midget. Sorry. That's why. Apparently you're not allowed to say that word anymore. I didn't want to make anyone think, I didn't want anyone to think I was saying a worse word.
This is not a woke podcast.
Yeah. It's not a DEI podcast anymore. God, I may have to write that time down. But the thing with like Aaron Rodgers is like, do you see that goblin pop out of the locker right there? And like, what are you talking about, Aaron? He's just, high off cocaine, not cocaine. He's all high off heroin for like the 10th time that day. I am very excited now for the Steelers, because you know how when you go into like a bad neighborhood, you kind of lock your car, put things away, make sure. Like this weekend when I was at where your wedding was, we had to park outside and it was like, okay, let's just be careful. I imagine that's what cornerbacks are going to have to do with their bodies going into those games, because who knows? Those two might kill you. And I mean that like not jokingly. Like George Pickens assaulted people on the field. Like if he had done that in a pickup game, the cops would have been called. The fact that he got to do it professionally, listen, Roger, Goodell, you're going to have to have Roger, you and me, you're going to have cops on hand there. You're going to have to the national, I don't know. You're going to have to the Hannibal Lecter rolly cart on hand, just because who knows what those two, their combined powers. It's like the power or who, like Captain Planet, but for receivers who want to hurt people. So yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Congratulations to the Steelers. Most fun team to watch this year.
All right, we'll get to the fun quarterback part. So Geno Smith was the Seattle Seahawks quarterback. He got shipped off to the Raiders. Do you know who has replaced him in Seattle?
It's not. Is it? No, because he went to somewhere else, right? It's not. Who's the?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Is it Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold. 3-year, $110.5 million contract. He has paid himself into a payday. Played himself into a payday. Good for Sam Darnold.
As I say about what's his name? The Houston and A&M coach. Hold on, I'll look this up. Oh.
Now, the problem with Sam Darnold going there compared to where he was in the Vikings is he doesn't have Addison and Jay Jettas. So, and they just got rid of DK Metcalf. They're not re-signing Tyler Lockett. They do have the rookie that I cannot pronounce his last name, so I'm not even going to give a shot at it. So we'll see what Sam Darnold looks like, but that is not where I was expecting him to go.
Okay, have it. The Kevin Sumlin school of owing people money. Kevin Sumlin owes Johnny Manziel and Case Keenum a lot of money. Sam Darnold owes Justin Jefferson a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a guy who we all thought was going to be shipped off to nowhere after J.J. McCarthy started. So congrats to you on your payday. This year's Kevin Sumlin Award goes to Sam Darnold. Congratulations. Spend that money well, King.
I've got two more bigger stories for you, and then I've got 4 quick hitters.
Okay.
Josh Allen signs a huge contract extension for 6 years, $330 million, $250 million guaranteed. That's that MVP money, baby. You're paying that. As soon as he won the MVP, you know that price just went up, and I think he's worth it. I really hope the Bills can get it done.
Josh Allen is to Buffalo like Luka was to Dallas. He's like the guy there. Like you can say like Patrick Mahomes is the guy in the KC, which is correct, but it just doesn't have the same vibe. I think if Josh Allen were to ever leave Buffalo, they would burn that city to the ground. So I'm very glad he got paid. He deserves to get paid. His story is amazing. Josh Allen's amazing. He's having the best time. I mean, I would say not best time of his life because there's one thing that would make it a little bit better. But he's engaged to an actress who, is killing it. He's an MVP. He has a team that still is relatively good. Even after people.
Well, he's going to win the AFC East. That's not a fucking competition.
Yeah. I was going to say that's not but there's one thing that will, I don't know. There's one thing that will elude his grasp until I don't know when, but congratulations to Josh. I'm happy for you.
So the other big news I have is Myles Garrett cut Max Crosby for the biggest non-quarterback contract. About 6 days ago, almost a week ago, Max Crosby signed a 3-year, $106.5 million contract, $91.5 million guaranteed. I believe on Sunday or Saturday, Myles Garrett signed a 4-year, $160 million contract, $122 million guaranteed. He didn't even let Max Crosby have that. Highest non-quarterback contract for a week. And Myles Garrett is the highest and he's worth every penny. And by the way, all that shit about, it doesn't matter. Like, I want to go to a contender. You put a check big enough in front of a player and they don't care anymore.
He said, how much money? How much money for 4 years? Oh, never mind. Okay, I'll stay here forever. Yeah. No,
$40 million a year for a pass rusher, if he hits all incentives, is banana lands.
Oh, 100%. Now, I will say,
he's not just a pass rusher.
He's so much more. They finally got a quarterback on that team, a Super Bowl winning quarterback on that team. Kenny Pickett is now backup for the Cleveland Browns. I don't really know what he's doing there.
Deshaun Watson, I don't think he's projected to come back. So
is he not?
Because of the Achilles, he re-entered the Achilles in January. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell the Browns are going to do, man.
I mean, I feel nothing for them. Like, I don't feel bad.
Thank you for all the picks.
Yeah, thanks for all the thanks. Yeah, this is like an OKC situation. Like, thanks. You got the worst possible person / outcome for this.
It's kind of the Paul George trade without the controversy. Paul George doesn't have any controversy, but just a shit ton of picks to the Clippers. Okay, you guys got this now. You got your player. Go win it all. Oh, you didn't do shit with it, and now you're kind of not great.
This is gonna be such a random question. Does Baltimore need a kicker?
No,
no.
He's still there.
He's still there. Okay.
Yeah, of course he's still there.
Okay.
Justin Tucker.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know after the whole.
No, he's still there.
Sorry, the Deshaun Watson, and then you're like Paul George. I don't know, no controversy.
Right.
That's how I got there.
I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. I need to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
My 4 quick hitters. Devontae Adams did not wait for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision. He signed with the Rams 2 years, $44 million, 26 guaranteed. That's going to be fun with Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp if they don't end up trading him. That's a fun little tandem.
Yeah, that'll be fun whenever he leaves midseason to go to Aaron Rodgers' new team. One more Aaron Rodgers friend, and it all comes together.
Justin Fields to the Jets for 2 years, $40 million. Good on Justin for getting $40 million in the bank. I don't believe it's completely guaranteed, but you know what? It can't be worse. It can't be worse.
Well, it definitely can. You can have Daniel Jones on your team.
Yeah, like the Colts. That's going to be the most entertaining QB competition ever. Yeah. Just two insane quarterbacks that can run the hell out of the ball but make very questionable throws. Now, Anthony Richardson has a cannon arm, but not the most accurate in the world.
I feel like it's a very fair test to say, can you beat Daniel Jones in a quarterback competition? And if the answer is yes, good. If the
all right, we can work on this.
If the answer is no, then I don't think.
Well, we better cut our ties.
Daniel Jones has become can you be in the NFL litmus test? They should honestly. You should have one guy here. We talk about new rules. One guy here in the NFL is to mark the competition guy. It's if you can, every team can grab him. He can go there for whatever you want, but he's just there purely to see if your quarterback or whatever player you have can handle it. Because if they can't beat him, it's like, what are you doing here at this point, buddy?
Let me build on that. If they cannot beat him in open competition, you get to void that player's contract. They just don't get paid anymore. It's over.
So the question then becomes,
now an NFL official has to declare it. You can't because the team's always going to be like, no, they definitely won. You would have to have a non-biased. Holy shit, you are worse than Daniel Jones. Get the fuck out of here.
And I think the thing is, the players don't get to choose. I think it has to be it can't be a first year player. I don't even know if it can be a second year player. I think if you get a third year, it's hey, buddy, what are you doing? I think then you can bring in the pink ticket, because there's like the pink slip, the pink ticket. You bring in the pink ticket and see if they can beat that person. That's a perfect idea. I love that.
And to inspire the player, whatever was left on their contract for that year, you get what they were owed that year.
Yeah.
So if Patrick Mahomes is at the end of his career, and this is never going to happen, but Patrick Mahomes is at the end of his career and he's owed $50 million that year, and they bring in whoever the new Daniel Jones is, and he loses to and he beats Patrick Mahomes in however they're going to set it up. That $50 million that Patrick Mahomes was owed goes to that player. And that player is like, I was a 6th round pick. I got paid, basically minimum wage in the NFL, practice squad number. This $50 million is life changing. I'm set for life. Of course they're going to go after it. Like, sorry, dude, fuck you. I want the money.
It's called Undercover Hoss. And
I like that.
I don't think we should actually, maybe you don't tell the player. By the way, Hard Knocks is gone.
Mystery.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery. It's a mystery shopper. It's a mystery player. It's undercover. It's undercover boss. You don't, and they follow him around with cameras. Like if Hard Knocks is going out of style, new Hard Knocks, which is called just called Hard Knocks, out of the league or stay in the league or something like that. I think that's $1 million idea. Bill Simmons, get on this. That's amazing.
And my 2 other quick little signings, Chris Godwin stays with the Bucs for 3 years, $66 million. If he can return to form after his ACL tear, that is a steal, I think, for him. Good on him. Baker Mayfield's going to love having him back. I don't know. I think he should be on pace to play a little bit this season, but I won't swear to it. And then the last one is Najee Harris signed a 1-year, $9.5 million contract with the Chargers. Not bad for your first signing, trying to stay relevant in the league, Najee. Good on him. But that's all my there is a shit ton more of football notes, but that's the ones I had ready to go today.
So much happened. I mean, there's going to be more that happens, but I think everything just kind of came it's also a very busy weekend for you. And I don't think I left my place of residence at 6:00 on Friday. I did not return until about 5:00 on Sunday. And I don't think I slept that much this entire time. So I did not pay attention a ton this weekend, other than college basketball. There's a lot of college basketball to come. I have no more looks at football, but I have one last sports note. The Pac-12 wrestling tournament occurred. Brian, would you like to guess which team won the Pac-12 this year?
I have no idea.
If your answer was Arkansas Little Rock, you're correct. They won the Pac-12 wrestling tournament this year. Wrestling is also really weird because, it's like how it's like swimming. You have weird conferences. Same kind of concept. They're just like people who join conferences who aren't in that conference. But yeah, shout out to Arkansas Little Rock. I believe the wrestling championship is this week because it's spring break. So usually over spring, or at least spring break in Texas or in Houston. I usually spring break is when that occurs. So it's just a fun week for sports. It's a lot of magical things can happen. So there can be some bid stealers like Notre Dame. There can be some, winners. I hope Gable Stevenson doesn't win. I know this is such a thing that no one cares about, but I'm tired of Gable Stevenson being in college wrestling. And the time he's been in college wrestling, he has gone to the Olympics, to the WWE, and also to the Buffalo Bills to try to be a player. And he is still wrestling in college. He
still has collegiate, it's called. Yeah. Availability.
Eligibility. Yeah. So I think he's 24. This is his last season of eligibility. But dear Lord, man, go away. It's not fair to have a 24-year-old facing a 19-year-old. It just doesn't make sense. Whatever. I'm not the one to talk about this. But that's all I have for this week, Brian. Brian, do you have anything else?
Nope.
Well, Brian, where can the people find you?
You can find me across all social medias at Auric Polaris, AuricPolaris. There's not going to be a lot of streaming. That's why I didn't really emphasize the Twitch this time, because I think I'm going to be able to stream once this week, and then I go on my honeymoon. So after that, hopefully it kicks off a lot more, back to 3 to 4 times a week. But Jordan, where can the people find you?
Find me at Jordan's Thoughts on Twitter. I actually had a tweet retweeted by Old Row this past week. It was a very fun time for me. only because it was really stupid. It was just there was like that Kappa Sigma Ole Miss like fraternity gang, and one of the linemen looked like JD Vance. It was the height of the JD Vance memes. It's like there are JD Vances for all who have eyes to see them. Find me at Jordan's Thoughts on Twitter. Find me at Moonstamp Sports everywhere else. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok while supplies last. Thank you so much for listening this week. Next week, we'll be coming with a little bit of a weird show. It's going to be Brian talking about after Selection Sunday and me having the Bill Burr Monday Morning Podcast all to myself. Or maybe my brother will join, who knows. But thank you again so much for watching or listening. Please leave a review or a comment or a like or follow wherever you are. I appreciate you so much. Have a great rest of your week.
Stay beautiful.